is coming from the same lady who told everyone to be nice to everyone because it's just a bloody cake pop, guys.
This woman marquise chocolate. Don't use Fox Cake, whatever. Shut the fuck up. Just bake.
Believe it or not, I do actually get asked, could you please take a picture of, if you get your nails done, could you please share what the nails look like? They're kind of like a mermaidy thing. There you go. They're so cute. They are from my nail girl, Has. I will leave her linked in the description box because she's always doing nails of the week and stuff, so you can get all sorts of inspo. So Katie comes back to apologise after Cake Pop Gate.
I'll tell you what happened. I saw a cake pop recipe written within a TikTok caption. I thought it came from my recipe book because I was tagged, and I handled the situation poorly.
Right, she comes back, and I already am not accepting this apology, and I tell you the reasoning why. I don't want to accept it because I feel like it's very much she's only trying to cover her back so that she'll stop losing these followers and these brand deals. She acknowledges that she was given some like poor legal advice whenever it was, right? She says that a while back she was given legal advice when she came out with this virtual cookbook, this virtual recipe book, where she seems to think that if you post a recipe from there, then that's copyright, and that's not the case.
The legal
Why isn't
advice
it
I received
focusing?
in the past said this was wrong because I had a copyright on the book, but
Alright,
you
cool.
guys quickly informed me, and now I know that that's not the case. A recipe book is copyrighted as a whole, not on individual recipes. I was confused. I was acting on advice that I had been given in the past, and I didn't lead with my heart. I didn't lead with kindness, and obviously that showed.
There are certain things that are copyrighted when it comes to cookbooks, recipe books, and that kind of thing, and it is more so the creative expression and the storytelling and the art and the layout of the cookbook. You can't copyright a recipe. You can't copyright the method, the step-by-step. You can't copyright it, but what you can copyright is I think it's called like the creative elements to it. I don't know. The only reason why I know this is because of the Brookie Cookhouse and the Recipe Tin Eats fiasco that went on last year. I remember loads of copyright lawyers were talking about it, and I just retained it in my brain. I'm not a legal expert, cannot stress that enough, but I just remembered that bit. She says that she was acting on advice that she was given like years ago. I just want to say, why the hell are you not consulting with your lawyer, if there even is a lawyer, before you're sending out messages saying, just wait till you hear from my lawyer? You obviously don't have a lawyer on tap, right? They're obviously not at your beck and call, because any lawyer would tell you that this isn't right. Do you know what I mean? Like, and she's saying that, oh, I was given this advice years ago. It's like, if you had a lawyer on tap, like you were threatening Ashley with a lawyer and lawsuits and all of this, unless you took the thing down. Why are you doing that when you don't even have a lawyer? I just think that's a little bit embarrassing. I don't know, there's something really cringy about that. I don't like it. Whatever, moving on. Another part as well is that I don't feel like I don't want to accept an apology that basically starts off with going, I'm sorry, but I acted on human emotion. I'm sorry, but, you know, we all have these human emotions.
And obviously that showed. Had a human moment and reacted instead of taking the time to talk out the situation, and I couldn't be more sorry for that. I've spent the last day receiving death threats, hundreds of wishes that I would end my life, racial slurs against my family, people telling me I should be sterilized, that I should be put down, but I do just want everybody to know that I take accountability for the way I responded to Ashley. I know that Ashley didn't get the best version of me yesterday, and you don't know me and you can say what you want, but if you did know me, you would know how heavy that sits on my heart and how sorry I am that she did get the worst version of me. I can't say enough that I understand Ashley didn't have bad intentions, that I should have taken the time before reacting. Now, I don't know about you, but sometimes when life is hard, when things are hard, when health is hard, I react. I think that's human, but I don't think it's right.
Yeah, we all do have human emotions, but that doesn't excuse what's going on. Also, she then goes on to say that she has been harassed, attacked, been called different names, had family threatened. And I'm just thinking, I'm like, What do you think happened to Ashley? What do you think could have happened to Ashley with you and your 700,000 plus follower base? Going after her when she had like 20,000 or whatever. You're weaponizing your audience, and I think that's really disgusting, because as much as we want to think and believe that as like creators, for instance, I hate talking like this, it's just so like bleh, but as creators, whatever, as someone with a platform, it's a bit better, as someone with a platform, you don't know, you think that you have an audience that's made up of well-adjusted people. You don't know, okay? You don't know. And being all parasocial with your audience and calling them like your best mates and all of that, you're drilling it into people's heads that they will ride or die for you. I hope to God that if someone ever like did me wrong online, that my audience, that there would not be people in my audience that would actually like send them death threats and stuff, because that I don't feel like that is ever warranted. There are going to be people in your audience that will take it one step too far, will like find where you were, because you don't know everyone. 700,000 people, and you don't think that by you making that video directed at Ashley that she wasn't going to get any hate? Not having it, and to then back it up with, but guys, the human emotions. It's like, yes, we have. I get it. You're human. I'm human. We're all two-legged mammals here. Like, we get it, right? We understand our function on this planet. The problem is that you can't use that as a defense. You can't use, oh, I was just so overrun with emotion, so I'm going to threaten this really small creator with a fake lawyer. You can't do that. That's not fair. The thing is, right, I'm a little bit more like, not hot-headed. I don't know. I got a bit more like spice up my ass today, I suppose, because I've now started to see other creators who have come out and who have like given their first-hand experience of dealing with her.
Thank you,
in
Oakland.
DMs or just in general, and the way that she treats people behind the scenes is not cool.
Every day I'm going to walk with kindness, with grace, and with generosity as much that I can. And I just wanted to let you guys know that I have learned a lot from this situation. Ashley, I am so sorry. I wish you the best of luck on your K-pop journey. I know some of you guys were getting upset when I was turning my comments off yesterday. I've just never been through something like this with these kinds of messages, and some of them seem very serious. I just don't know like when I'm going to be around or when I'm going to be back, but I love you guys. Thank you so much for letting me be in this space with you. Thank you so much for so many of you for letting me help you make K-pops.
Can she be quite like abrasive, and like the way that she delivers content is not for everyone, sure. But I kind of got this sense of her maybe being a little bit like, I don't know, like I didn't really picture that she'd be that horrible to people and that spiteful and nasty to people. I don't know, I just didn't. Maybe my bitch radar is off, but I wasn't expecting that. And she's come across my feed quite regularly for like the past year. Like, I had come across her content way before this drama had ever happened. So I was a bit taken aback. From what I can see and what a lot of people are saying is that she's only saying this because brands are at stake. So there are more than two, but these are the two that I have organically found. There's BB Sweets. They said, we fully believe in treating others with respect and professionalism, both online and offline. Out of respect
Now,
for
why
Daisy
aren't you
Makes'
focusing?
recent update, we will no longer be actively promoting the Cake by Katie collaboration products at this time. Thank you for understanding and for being part of a community that supports kindness first.
Grainger offers professional-grade products, easy reordering online, and 24/7 support, helping procurement managers keep buildings running so people can keep working. Call, click, or stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
And the one that they're referring to is Daisy Makes. And from my own understanding, had this kind of big collab going on. So they said, at Daisy Makes, we believe kindness matters. We do not condone bullying, personal attacks, or unkind hate behavior towards anyone. While we cannot control what people choose to say or do on the internet, we can control who we choose to build meaningful collaborations with. We will always stand behind the values of treating others with respect, grace, and professionalism. And to right. Also, I've noticed as well, is it Cake by Katie's actual recipe? It's here, taken from her digital book, has just been posted. It's just been posted, and it's so funny because the amount of people on my last video and just in general who were just like, okay, so she's getting butt hurt.
Thank you.
But someone is coming after her recipe, which uses
I appreciate the
a
compliment.
trademarked like company, like Betty Crocker cake mix, and then they're also using Fruity Pebble cereal. Two really big companies. All that she's actually adding in, which proof of it is here. What was she adding in? Was it milk, sour cream, was it? And some eggs? I don't freaking know. I'm not a baker, but up here. And loads of people in my comment section were literally being like, yeah, that's like the most basics of things. Like, duh. Like, the things that are making her stuff stand out is very much things that are already either A, common knowledge, or B, big companies. But what else is really interesting about this whole freaking mess is that there is this woman called PK Elixirs, and I just about died when I saw this.
About 2 months ago, someone had sent Cakes by Katie 2 of my elixirs. I had never followed the woman, seen one full video at the time of her doing marbled cakesicles. That was it. Never seen another full video. I've only
Thank you.
watched one of
Bye,
hers
Oakland.
at the time.
Have a good
She
day.
did an unboxing. My flavors were in there.
PK has these transform your creations of PK elixirs, a concentrated liquid flavorings made to enhance your baked goods, desserts, and drinks, developed by cake artist and flavor expert Portia Kimball. These premium drops are designed to bring bold, delicious flavor in every recipe without artificial aftertaste or overpowering notes. If they do not have that weird aftertaste that quite a lot of there's one over here, what's it called, like the skinny syrups or whatever, I really don't like them because they all kind of end up tasting exactly the same. They have this like weird aftertaste. Oh, do you reckon you could like add it to like porridge and stuff? You probably could. Yeah, using cakes, cookies, royalizing frostings, pancakes, coffee, smoothies, and more. So they ship to the UK. I've been trying to find good flavorings of things, but if they've got sugar in it, I can't eat it because I've got gestational diabetes at the minute. Anyway, what am I trying to say? So basically, she comes on and she says that she runs like affiliate programs, and Katie was doing a video where she was unboxing some stuff, and in the box, okay, she pulled out some of PK's elixirs, okay, and Portia, PK, was just like, I recognise them. They're my elixirs. So she basically reached out to Katie and just said, hey, just so you know, we do actually offer a affiliate program if you'd be interested. Let's get the ball rolling. Did Katie reply? No, she did not.
She did an unboxing. My flavors were in there. And then a couple days later, I sent her a message and I was like, hey, I do have an affiliate program. If you're interested, let me know and I can give you the details. And that's just where I left it. About a week or two later, I made a video that I thought was funny. Apparently, she didn't find it funny, and she made this nasty comment underneath my video telling me how disgusting I am and how rude I am. Horrible that my video even made it to the internet. And she proceeded to send me a DM that said, I would never work for your company. You're disgusting. You're gross. How dare you? Basically said that Chunky Cake Pops was like her biggest seller or whatever, and how dare I put that down.
Do you guys want to see the video in question? Because I was like, show me. I went onto her stories. The video in question is PK saying that some people's cake pops, when they're like dipping and it's all chunky, looks a little bit like an STI, like it's giving chlamydia.
Now that I'm like experimenting with cake pops, one thing I noticed is sometimes people will melt their chocolate and then they'll put like crumbled up cookies, and then they dip their cake pop into the chocolate so it comes out clumpy, right? Like it doesn't come out smooth. It looks like some sort of STD. Like you don't know what it is. It don't look right. That's just me. I don't know about anybody else, but it's giving STD. It's giving chlamydia.
Like, is that kind of like that's a gross comparison? Yeah, of course it is. Everyone, if you think something's delicious and then someone says that it looks like an STD or an STI or whatever, are you going to think that that's like tasty? No, but it's obviously meant satirically. That is what sent Katie over the freaking edge. And to prove it, I posted the screenshots up here of, you know, she then got blocked by Katie, but of her going like, this is disgusting, this and this and that. Katie then proceeded to message PK dragging her, saying that she was gross, disgusting, terrible baker, like all of this horrible stuff. PK actually ended up deleting that video.
I didn't even know that she made chunky cakesicles or whatever it was, because I had only seen one video and it wasn't of that. Sometimes we assume that people know who we are, or we assume that everybody is watching the internet or looking at every video or every post that we make, and that is not the case. I apologized to her more times than I should have. She wouldn't even accept my apology. I took the video down. I was like, I'm sorry if you were offended, but this is just my humor, and everybody that knows me knows this is my humor. So go have a look on my personal Instagram page. She wasn't having it. She wasn't hearing me out. I was like, you can go on my Instagram page and look up and down it. You can even look at my old videos here on TikTok and see, like, this is the kind of humor that I have. But she didn't want to hear me out, which is interesting to me, because now she wants all of us to accept her apology and hear her out and say, the people that know me know I'm not like that. Well, I pretty much said the same thing in my message, and you just kept attacking me and attacking me and attacking me. Now, y'all know me. I can get down with the best of them, but I was also trying to be professional, because sometimes businesses cross one another, right? I'm not the only person she bullied in messages, and yeah, that's exactly what she is.
Is it well within her right to leave that video up? Yeah. However, like I was just saying, if you've got a big account with like 700k followers on it, and you're a small account who relies on internet for their business, are you going to comply with the big account? Yeah, because otherwise that big account could send people on her. Okay, I think the backlash would have been like, I don't think she would have gotten any backlash for that video. People would have been like, why the hell are you bitching and moaning about someone else talking about cake pops when you literally make videos telling people to shut the fuck up about cake pops?
I get this shit all the time. Don't use the steam method. Use this way. Don't use almond bark. Use chocolate. Don't use Fox steamage. Whatever. Shut the fuck up. Just bake. Do whatever you want. If people want to buy it, if your family wants to try it, if you want to eat it, I wish I could have rhymed on that part, but I couldn't anyway. Shut up.
PK didn't know that, so she's over here. She deleted it, and then do you want to hear the absolute cherry on top of the crap sundae? Okay, from there on out, for the past 2 months, Katie has been using the elixirs in her stuff. Okay, here's screenshots. Yeah, people were like, oh my god, this is your product, and Portia's just like, yeah, I know, that's my product that she's just using in her shots.
Oh, and let's not forget, she's actually been using
Hi,
my
Sham.
elixirs. Even though
Hi, Art Style 45. Yeah, turn my controller on.
To not show you what they are. She's hiding them on her counter, but yet I'm disgusting, but you keep using my shit. Make it make sense.
So Katie was really horrible.
91%, guys.
something that
We'll get to 100 eventually.
Was it a gross comment? Yeah, but was it that serious? No, that's just PK's sense of humour. What the actual hell's going on? And bear this in mind, Katie, like I posted the video yesterday, was literally made a video where she was bagging on and on about like, why are all the treat makers so mean to each other? Why are all the treat makers so concerned about chunky cake pops when Katie is concerned about chunky cake pops? Katie is a wolf in sheep's clothing.
I see some of the videos I hear me these days. Like, sometimes you guys are telling people to do one way, but you're completely dissing in a not nice way the way a lot of people do things. And all I have to say is, why? I saw another video the other day about that chunky cake pops look like STDs. When did it become okay to be so comfortable on the internet? And that's coming from me.
That whole thing is just too much. That is who she was talking about in that rant clip where she's popped a gummy and she's making all these treats and whatnot. Yeah.
No, I got what you meant,
Talking
Sham.
about PK, and she's also like, come on, you're such a hypocrite. Literally saying, trying to make it out like that video was severely vulgar. Like, yeah, is it vulgar humour? Yeah, but the way she ran TikTok to make this video, one would assume that actually PK had said something way worse. At least, I don't know, was it a disgusting comment? Yeah, but it's just...
What's TDAC?
Like, come on.
Total drama. Is it total drama?
Because she is saying on one hand, it's just cake pops, why does it matter? We should let people do what they want. Whilst also going, but the caveat is you can't say that chunky cake pops look like STIs. Do you see the thing? You're putting barriers there.
Digital Circus?
You said
No.
yourself, why does it matter? Just bake. And also,
I haven't seen it. I hear
the
it's good.
messages that PK got
Then I
as
hear some weird
well
things
were
about the
just-
fandom.
Even in the comment section where she's flagged up these comments right here on the delete
But I do think
video,
sometimes people exaggerate.
you know, Katie's all guns blazing. She's all guns blazing whilst also pretending to be like ultra chill.
Hi, Radio Dust.
And like, I don't care about this and that, and I'm gonna help you and give you all these recipes. But wait, I'm not really giving you these recipes. But I am, but I'm not, but I am. But you can't use them without my permission, but you can, but you can't. She's not making any sense. She needs to get off the internet for a while. I do believe that. I'm not saying she needs to be like
Thank you,
banned
Marshall.
from the internet. I don't really believe in that in these situations. But I do think she needs to, for her own mental health, take a step back from the internet because she is reacting to things super bad. And I'm sure there are many of these situations out there, but the way that she was coming at PK, allegedly in the DMs, is very similar to how she came across Ashley when she thought Ashley had stolen her recipe. When you can't steal a recipe, especially if you're posting it online yourself, as an online recipe, the whole thing is silly. Anyway, I'm actually finishing this video on the sofa because someone came to put up a mirror, so I then had to quickly stop filming. So I'm actually sat. Oh, do you want to see my mirror? Sorry, I'm acting so unbelievably rude, and whilst he's here, I've actually been editing that video. This is a behind the scenes. Thank you so much for watching today's video. I am so blessed that you guys are here enjoying this bit of drama with me. It has actually been recorded and uploaded on the same day, which does sometimes happen, but I've actually had quite a busy day today, so I'm surprised that it is happening. But I really just wanted to come and give you the latest and greatest. So yes, thank you so much for watching today's video. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Wherever you are in this world, take care of each other, take care of yourselves, and I will catch up with you guys in the next video. Bye!
From Hasman Hotel? Husk. Because I really like the voice actor. What's his name? Keith David? Oh, I really like the voice actor. Because I really love, Nifty. She's funny. Because I also really love the, what's it called? I love when he played, what's his name in Princess and the Frog? Lux? Yeah. I think Fox is a funny in a pathetic way. Because he is desperate for Al.
For example, Jane Austen. I've always been interested in reading all of Jane Austen's works. And things like Goosebumps, Pretty Little Liars, things like that, I always have had an interest in reading. So today's series, even when the Netflix series was announced, I wasn't really that interested. But then, because I am a sucker for special editions, I'm a sucker for a beautiful book. This is my Regency romance, okay? As soon as Illumicrate brought out the fact that they were releasing this set and they showed photos of it, it was love at first sight. I fell in love. And then I realized at that moment, maybe I was never really interested in reading the series. However, I am interested in reading a sexy series. So even if it's just based on the set itself, and rather than the actual story, I now want to read this series. What is the series? You will have seen in the thumbnail, so it's not really a surprise. I don't know why I'm drawing this out as if it's going to be a surprise. But that series that you have no idea what it is Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. And yes, this is the sexy, gorgeous, incredible, amazing Illumicrate set that went on sale a good few months back. and I managed to get my hands on it. So like, firstly, I just absolutely love, and I can't hold this straight to save my life. What I love about the set is that when they're all together, it does look like you're looking through a sort of gorgeous mansion on the side, almost, with all different colours. Oh, well, when I do this, you can see it better. It's because of the glare. I apologise for that. But yeah, you can see it better when I do it like this. All the edges are sprayed. It looks beautiful. I love a set that when you put them all on their spines, they match beautifully. I will say this is probably my most gorgeous set in this library. So yeah, if this set was never revealed or announced, I don't think I would have ended up getting this series. However, saying that though, I'm not going to be going into this automatically hating it because it's not really typically my thing. I am open-minded.
Giving him a pink
I do like
nose.
a little bit of everything, and I do know that Bridgerton is a Regency romance, and I do like romance, and every now and then I like Regency. So there's no reason why I shouldn't enjoy Bridgerton.
Where is
So
my
this
eraser?
is the first book, The Duke and
My
I.
sister really loves what's it?
Yeah, so this
My
is the
Hero
book that I
Academia.
will be starting off
She really likes it.
and then we will be
She
going
wants me to
into the
read
I
it, but I
Love
just,
Me. I heard great things about this
it's
book.
just
This is
anime
my
is
favorite
it's so
in this
long.
series. And then we have an offer from a gentleman, which stop, and we have Romance in Mr. Bridgerton
Dude, it is
as
so
the
cold in my
fourth
house.
book.
Just how I like
Colour
it.
schemes, oh, honestly, sexy to Sir Philip with love. Very nice. The sixth book, which is When He Was Wicked. The penultimate book, which
We
is
and
this?
wicked
Does
know,
He
and
Love
goodness
Me?
knows.
Is this based off the Cher song? The
Mm-hmm.
Cher song. Well, now that's
Lonely, and
and
goodness knows the wicked die alone. I think it's about wicked.
And then the
You guys like
final book, which
musicals?
is on the way to the wedding. I do believe there are more books in the overall Bridgerton world, but this and what I'm reading in this video is just the main 8 Bridgerton books that I believe were released between 2000 and 2006.
This is blue.
So there are spin-offs, but I'm just sticking
Thank
to
you.
the novels. So I will be starting The Duke and I probably today, and each novel follows a different Bridgerton family member, I believe, and they are part of High London society, and they are each on their mission, their own kind of adventures in finding romance, love, their place in society, I guess. I feel like I will probably end up being a sucker for the series. I do have a soft spot for like trashy stuff every now and then. I don't know if it's actually trashy, but I do want to check out the Netflix show at some point as well. I have heard that's kind of like a bit of a trashy show, very bingeable. And what's not love, because it's also produced by Shondaland. And, you know, Shonda Rhimes, absolutely love Grey's Anatomy, Scandal, Private Practice. I'm obsessed with those shows. Those are some of my favourite shows of all time. So why have I not checked out Bridgerton yet? I do not know. But I do think the TV show will most likely be very, very different to the book series. So I do want to read the book series first, then go into the TV show. And I think each season is based on a book. So those are the books. That is the plan for this video. But before I get into actually reading these books, I do want to give a huge thank you to today's sponsor, which is Serious Readers. This is you before Serious Readers. Okay, question. Is it morally acceptable to annotate these editions? Even though I have highlighters that will match the colour of each book. And pens as well, actually. I have pens that could also match. Is it morally acceptable to do that, though?
Thank you.
Considering how much the
I
set
really hate
costs.
doing it, but I force myself to do it so I get better.
These books. I'm never going to sell them on. These are mine forever. These are staying in my library forever. Even if I don't like the books, I'm keeping them. So, like, I don't care if I annotate them and then have to sell it on, because that's not going to happen. But should I do it? There's part of me that's like, I shouldn't, because of how, well, rare these are and how beautiful they are, how much they cost. Do I put pen to paper? That's the question. Do I do that? I don't usually annotate, but when it's a video like this, I'll want to, because I'm going to go into spoilers, I'm going to go into characters, I'm going to what I love, what I hate. And in order to do that, I feel like I have to. I have to annotate.
Do I have a light
feel like
blue?
I'm convincing myself, and I feel like this is going to probably be a little heartbreaking for some of you guys to watch as I do this. But
That's good, Sham.
highlight.
What do you draw?
I don't ever really like highlight. I never see
I don't
it
like
on
light blue.
page. But that's what's going to happen.
Where's my work?
ample warning that
And
I'm
we
probably
can
going to do that,
know
most
and
likely
goodness
100%.
knows I
What a morning
will
I had already. I know I
when
look like
again,
shit, but just
over
please
and over
ignore.
again.
I
Oh, I
was
like
gonna
that blue.
film this last night,
I
and
don't
I
care
looked
how
less like shit when I actually finished the Duke and I, but I just couldn't. And then I thought, oh, it'll all be good tomorrow morning. Everything will be fine. My cats are driving me wild. They'll probably make an appearance soon, but they smashed something
Realism?
in this
Cartoon
room.
anime.
And
I haven't done realism
that
in
was
a
like
while.
a
I should
little bit of a
probably
thing for
start
the
doing that
family,
back
not gonna
again.
lie. I was just standing there looking at the smashed thing, thinking, wow, this smashed thing is a metaphor for
Try
my
again.
life. I mean, totally unrelated to Bridgerton in this entire vlog.
Being a
But
good
I just
artist
thought
is
I'd
just
make some
about never
context
giving
as to
up.
why I look like this. I'm just not ready.
Being stubborn.
You know,
Doing it over
I'm
and
not
over
ready for
again.
the day. I've still got my pajamas. This is only my second cup of coffee, and I'm kind of done already. I'm done with the month. I'm done with the month. That's what I'm gonna say. Right, okay, let's talk about the Duke and I, because right, I was really enjoying this to begin with. I really, I swear, I thought the introduction of the characters was fantastic. I thought this was like so easily readable and bingeable, and I was just chapter after chapter just flicking through it and just like consuming it and thinking I'm probably not going to stop. And I did end up reading this all pretty much in one
Hi,
sitting
Lucky Girl.
yesterday. I mean, I did do other things in between, but you know, it was pretty much a one sitting and done kind of deal. Didn't take overly long to read. Okay, let's start off at the very beginning. I should probably tell you what each of these books are about when we go into them. So with the Duke and I, we follow Daphne. She is the fourth child of the Bridgerton family, and it's really easy to remember as well because they're each like in alphabetical order. So the oldest is Anthony, Daphne is the fourth oldest, you know, things like that. That just make it easy for me, especially since there are quite a few side characters that I haven't quite grasped their names just yet. But when it comes to the actual main characters, I kind of have a grasp on them, I would say. So this one is Daphne's story, Daphne and Simon. What I loved about this is that we started off with a bit of a prologue with like some kind of flashback of the past to Simon's childhood. So I was like, oh, okay, so we're actually starting off with developing the love interest. Because usually when we get a romance, or at least the ones I've read, we get the main character and then we discover the love interest and then we learn more about them. With this one, we had Simon's backstory, we had his childhood, and I felt so bad for him because Simon, he would sleep for the first, I think it was 4 years of his life, and his father kind of disowns him. He disowns him. He doesn't want anything to do with him because he thinks his child is broken, and
Oh,
so
shit.
Simon's nanny ends up looking after him and gets him
Sorry,
to speak, and
that was the wrong
he
button.
learns to speak, and he does have a stutter that he tries to control, but it's the one thing like that he feels about himself that gives him a lot of like self-conscious doubt, or like self-doubt, I guess, and it really makes him vulnerable. And I really enjoyed exploring the complexities of the love interest.
Thank you, Lucky.
Before getting into our main character Daphne. So honestly, at this point, I was just like, oh, okay, like this is like a great introduction. And then we do get introduced to Daphne and her mother Violet. And I get like a little bit.
I don't know how to ban anyone.
Let's be honest, Bridgerton is a little bit of a Poundland Jane Austen. This isn't amazing literature by any means.
All right, bye,
Honestly,
Lucky.
I just read all of Jane Austen's books a
Oh,
few months
I
back.
think I just deleted the
It
message.
really
Yeah, I don't know how to do
I
it.
thought they were fantastically written, and I was so surprised at how much I enjoyed the classics. But
I'm sorry, I'm not a good streamer.
for a different reason. This was just entertainment. I had no idea that there was this whole like lady Whistledown thing going on. Like she is like this gossip columnist sort of person, and I think it's published in like this newspaper that circulates high society London. And yeah, Lady Whistledown ignores things. She's literally Gossip Girl. She is XOXO Go Piss Girl. And I have no idea who the fuck she is. I have no idea who she is. Who is she? I'm trying my best to avoid spoilers. I really am. I'm trying my best to avoid spoilers online because I'm sure this series was written or like published over 20 years ago, and the Netflix show was out. So I'm sure there's lots of people who do know. I'm avoiding it like the plague. I'm not going on any video reviews. I'm not even searching on Google. The amount of times like I've held myself back from looking up other people's opinions on this book is insane. Like I want to know what other people think of this, but at the same time, I don't want to be spoiled for anything because I have no idea who Lady Whistledown is, and I didn't even know that this was a thing in Bridgerton. To be honest, I went into Bridgerton not knowing at all anyway. Like, I had no idea that the whole romance between Daphne and Simon would be a sort of a, what do you call it?
I have a very
really
inconsistent schedule.
Like the fake romance thing, the fake romance trope or whatever, when they pretend, or fake dating, that's it.
Bye. Forgot about that.
Fake dating, that's what it is. They do this whole kind of deal with each other that they're going to pretend to date so that Daphne can.
I was gonna watch a movie,
shake them
but
off a bit because
didn't
her
turn
mother's
out.
intends on getting her married, and so like she has like a little bit more freedom. And Simon wants all of the single ladies of.
How many accounts do you have?
Their mothers to leave him alone as well. So they agree to do it so that they can be free of the obligations of society, essentially. And I had no idea like that was the thing. I didn't realize Bridgerton was like fake dating. Like this is like you have to kind of suspend your disbelief a little bit with this because it's not. I wouldn't say it was historically accurate, and I'm not even an expert, but I know this is not historically accurate. Like I just feel like a lot of the things that happens in The Duke and I, you just wouldn't get away with in a classic, in a authentic Regency romance, I would imagine. But again, I'm not an expert, I know nothing, so don't take my word for anything. But yeah, that whole thing, like, even when Daphne and Simon got introduced to one another, I loved it. Honestly, I thought they had fantastic chemistry. I thought they got on so flammably well, if that's the right word, because they just bounced off one another. The dialogue was quick and witty, and I did not annotate this. I was about to highlight a section at the start, then I was like, do I really need to highlight? I don't think I do, so I didn't touch this. I didn't touch it, and I'm not going to touch any of them.
Oh shit,
talked
I
myself
keep
out of it, and I know I
keep pressing the wrong button, I'm sorry.
buy copies, I can do whatever I want with them, but at the end of the day, I just couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. One day I might when I'm brave enough, but today's not that day. So Daphne and Simon, yeah, they just get on so well. And Simon, it's a little bit complex as well because he's best friends with Anthony, who is the oldest Bridgerton sibling. And Daphne, like, she is, to begin with, like, such a smart and witty heroine. Like, I feel like she could have been on par with, like, Jane Austen heroines, for example, in terms of agency, in terms of having quick wit. And I thought the world of Daphne, quite honestly, for half of this book. And then something happened, and I feel like a lot of people will know exactly what I mean. And this book went from being such a fun, entertaining ride to, honestly, I think a 2-star book. I was going to give this 4 stars. I was going to give this 4 stars for the majority of this book. And then I feel like
his feet. I forgot his
the
feet.
midpoint, up until like the last quarter, things started happening, and I was just like, no, this is not the way. And I felt like the last quarter of this book almost felt like a totally different novel to the start of it, especially in terms of the characters. Like, I feel like maybe as soon as Simon and Daphne did end up starting to fall in love with one another and they get married, like, that was quick, but at the same time I could understand why, because of societal pressure, especially since they were cold kissing and Daphne's boob or tit or whatever was like pretty much out. Yeah, they had to get married, and I think from that moment on it just felt, I don't know, maybe a lot of the tension just deflated then. I probably would have loved it if there was a bit more that was drawn out before we got to that part. Maybe if there was a bit more steaminess and sex. There is a little bit of sex in this, not a great deal, so I wouldn't have said it was very steamy. I have heard that there was a lot of sex in the TV show, so the TV show definitely took a lot of liberties there. But I feel like what I loved most about the relationship, though, was just the dialogue between them. Honestly, I feel like the physical connection, I wasn't exactly taken with. It was all
I don't know. I don't watch a lot of TV. I mostly just watch YouTube.
Until we get to a certain point. So around about like chapter 13, I think it was, we have the talk with the mother, Violet, before the wedding about wife's obligations to a man and to their man and what is expected of them in the bedroom. And this is when like Daphne becomes a blithering idiot. Fair enough, like she's kind of been shielded from sex and that kind of talk. But considering she, even just her whole personality, I feel like my cats are like fighting. Let them be. Her personality to begin with is like she knows loads of things from experience from like her brothers, and like she's very attentive. She can see the world around her, and she makes her own decisions in her own opinions of things, and that's fantastic. But as soon as it gets to like chapter 13, and she doesn't know anything about sex and romance and what's like expected of her and that whole thing, like even for the rest of the book, she becomes a different character. Like she doesn't know how to tie her own shoelaces. Well, not really, but like, you know what I mean? Like she becomes like such a quick-witted character, just somebody who has like no self-awareness. And I found that character shift so jarring that I stopped caring too much about Daphne, and I was focusing more on like, oh, but I still like Simon because he's kind of kept his character, and you know he has a lot of childhood trauma from his father, and you could feel that through his characterization. And then the thing happened. I think it was chapter 18, where, okay, this is a story. Leading up to this point, Simon has told Daphne that he can't have children, and she misinterpreted that as in he's impotent, like he can't have kids, as in like he literally can't, when is in truth, in reality, he just doesn't want to. So like she gets her wires crossed, and I can see why, because Simon does word things in a very like clear-cut way. Like it was manipulative. It was a little bit manipulative, not gonna lie. Like it wasn't like, this is when I started to see the relationship is like not very good. But all Daphne wants is a large family. Like, you know, the fact that she has 7 siblings, like she wants a large family, and Simon can't give that to her. So like there's this whole tension throughout the book about like, oh, I don't want to marry Daphne because I'll never be able to give her what she wants. But it turns from a question of the fact that he can't do it to that he just won't do it. But then we get to the certain point, it comes to a head where Daphne, like, she's a bit pissed off with him, like, for him lying, and she, well, one night he comes in drunk, and he's about to ejaculate. He doesn't want to get her pregnant. He does not want a child. She, who is on top of him in his intoxicated, no, agree with. It's unforgivable. Like, he lied to him, yes. Talk about it. Talk about it. Don't do what you just did. Where did her self-awareness, where did her wit go? It just left her completely. I feel like that talk with her mother, which was so funny, by the way, it was hilarious when Daphne was like, oh, so you've had sex 8 times? And Violet's like all red and embarrassed, like, no, I've done it more than 8 times. You know, like that whole thing was hilarious. Like, great. Chalk that all up to a punchline in that chapter and have Daphne's innocence when it comes to sex be something that's funny in that moment. But then obviously after that, she's having sex with her husband. Don't go that route. I can't comprehend why we did that. If it had been discussed about better afterwards as well, maybe it would have been a moralistic moment, not just for Daphne but for the audience who were reading this. But the fact that, like, I don't even think it was well handled either after the fact, because then Simon leaves for 2 months and tells her, don't get in contact with me unless you're pregnant, and she says, hey, I'm pregnant. He comes back and then she's like, actually I'm not pregnant, and he says that he didn't leave because she raped him. He left because she reduced him to being a child where he would stutter. So like he blamed his own insecurity and his own stutter as a reason for leaving, not the actual act, not the actual thing that he should have left for, because what she did was totally wrong. So at the end of the day, this book says about that whole situation is that it's actually okay. It does, because Simon
Alright, I'm gonna go.
doesn't blame Daphne.